Okay, so yeah. I said I'd wait a few months, but I'm just getting so many comments and questions about this, I had to make a video. I know this is kind of beating a dead horse, but it's an update with fairly new information to some people, so I figured it more as smacking a sickly horse on his deathbed, but yeah. I hope I can start covering other topics after this video's done. I might do a video on the whole Lumi Star bun thing, because that's semi-relevant art drama. However, I figure some more research is needed before I cover it, or I could just kind of take a bit of a risk and start covering non-art related drama, but yeah, whatever. That being said, I'll leave myself to study some topics on my own, and I'll just get on with the video. So I think I'll start off with a quick recap of the situation, at least the parts that involve me. It all started on March 22nd when I uploaded my first video critiquing Jellobug and showcasing some of her videos in it. It stayed up for a few days before I received a copyright strike from Jello herself, about an 11-second clip within an 11-minute video, which is, obviously not how it works. My video fell completely within fair use, but I countered the claim and made a follow-up video to it, explaining what happened and talking about copyright some more. This got the attention of a few people, including another YouTuber by the name of Dr. Demonic. We agreed to do a collab where we went over some broader points, and I did a section discussing my involvement with the gacha community. I suggest you go watch that video, as well as my 2 other Jellobug videos for more context. Link will be in the description, if, post-production me even remembers to put them there. That's where my personal involvement with this situation ends. However, the situation doesn't stop there, I'll explain in this section.
Drop the drum! I got the
After my involvement ended, I was pretty content to just sit back and wait for the copyright strike to naturally expire. However, I had been receiving rumors that Jello's videos were getting copyright striked and her channel was slated for termination. I figured it was just hearsay and didn't bother to check them out, and I went about my business before I received confirmation from Dr. Demonic that not only were the rumors about the strikes true, there were also people going behind the scenes to dox videos of Jellobug's face. The doxer said horrible things to Jello, berating her and giving her detailed instructions on how to end her own life. Needless to say, even though I'm obviously not on good terms with Jello, this is disgusting. Jello was a child, pretty much everyone knows this, and it's just plain gross that people would even consider saying things like this to her. Commenting KYS under someone's video is one thing, linking them instructions and telling someone you know is a child to end their life in front of their parents is entirely another. As for the false strikes, that's a whole new issue. You could perceive it as a taste of her own medicine, but how I see it is that anyone could make a throwaway account and completely take someone's channel down. You don't have to be an action-level hacker man to false strike 3 videos methodically enough so that the channel would be taken down. Pretty much anyone can do that, and it's honestly kind of scary to think that it could happen to anyone. It's even worse because Jello had a channel I could commentate on and bring attention to. Some people don't. Someone completely out of the public eye could just do this and completely get away with it, and the only thing that's really stopping people from doing this is morals, at least I think so. I could be completely misreading the situation here, but it's a very real possibility as we see here, and the way YouTube handles things, the perpetrators could just, completely walk away scot-free. Even if the user's channel was terminated, it's possible to just use an alt or something, because honestly, who would do that kind of stuff on their main account? I suppose YouTube just not giving half a shit about false copyright strikes could play a part in this, but in the slim chance action is taken, it's pretty unlikely having an alt terminated would be something, to get busted up over. But back to the point. Jello was being blackmailed with the strikes, and the people doing this to her told her that they wouldn't remove her channel if she removed all the copyright claims she made, as well as record a facecam video apologizing. Obviously, they went ahead with their plan anyways, and even though Jello did, do everything they asked for, the strikes went through, Jello's channel was terminated, and her face was leaked to the public. I absolutely do not agree with the method in which her channel was taken down, or the doxing by any means. The individuals in question were horribly out of line with what they did, and I honestly feel that this could have been handled in a lot of different ways. Do not attempt to contact these people in any way, as it's best to just leave them alone, and unless you actually plan on making a video directly criticizing them, don't reply to them simply just insulting and berating them. It looks childish, and it won't accomplish anything except feed their ego. Honestly, that goes for everything really. If you're just going to insult something and fly off the handle without providing any opinion or criticism, perhaps it's best to just not comment at all. Also, for the record, I know I really shouldn't have to say this, but don't go looking for Jello's face videos because, it's just do it out of respect for her. Anyways, speaking of opinions in the last sentence, here's my take on the whole situation.
Aquí vamos, porque somos fanboy chum chum. Un poco coco, fanboy chum chum, estamos fanboy chum.
I believe I mentioned this in my last video, but the entire thing was just frustrating from beginning to end. I'm not happy with how it started, and I'm still not happy about how it ended. My strike did get removed faster than normal, and I suppose I should feel thankful, but it's kinda hard to feel that way when you know the circumstances behind it. I'll put it this way, I'm happy the strike was lifted, but I'm not happy that Jello was blackmailed into it and doxxed. I really wish the whole thing had played out differently because it's just an overall loss for both sides. It would have been so much better if Jello had a sudden change of heart or something and decided to remove the strikes of her own volition and just, everything that she did, she wasn't forced to do. That's how I wish the situation played out, but unfortunately, life just kind of sucks. Now, Jello has made a new channel, and it has been confirmed it's her. I'm wary of it, to say the least, and as far as I can recall, she never put out a formal apology of her own doing for the things she did. I know that will probably take time because, what happened, but I would like to see a genuine, not forced apology from her because, let's be real, she owes it to both the good parts of the communities involved. The gotcha community for giving them a bit of a bad rep, and to the people she falsely striked for, falsely striking them. Don't get me wrong here, she doesn't have to apologize to the people who did this to her because it's obviously ridiculous and she doesn't owe them anything, but she has wronged people and should at least extend that courtesy on her own terms eventually. Doesn't have to be now, but eventually I would like to see that from her. Another point they made in my last video is that without the involvement of a third party, her channel would likely still have never been terminated, despite the slew of rules she was breaking. It's hard to say for sure, but if YouTube had let her go on like that for ages and didn't do anything about it, I have no reason to believe that my involvement would have changed anything. It's incredibly disheartening to see YouTube blatantly disregard their users like this, and I don't doubt many people reported Jello before I made my video, as she was fairly notorious in the community for a while. YouTube's inaction is just another reason why I'm gradually getting fed up with this platform, however, it's not the point of this segment. Getting back on track, there is a new channel under the same name that has been gaining subs pretty fast. Like I said earlier, I can confirm this is Jello, as Dr. Demonic reached out via Discord and got that confirmation for us. Her new channel does seem semi-promising and keeping clean on not doing any of that weird 13+ clickbait garbage, but if I've learned anything from dealing with this community, it's to not keep your hopes up. Some people change for the better, like we saw that with the whole XX Savage Moon thing, and hopefully getting her channel terminated knocked down Jello a few pegs, but I can never be completely sure. Either way, if Jello is indeed watching this, I'd love to have you on for an interview, as I still have some questions I feel could be answered. Just hit me up on Discord and we can talk.
Excuse me? Eat shit, you soy boy cuck. Exactly, I hardly think I've heard of something called Cuphead, old man.
I feel like the situation doesn't have a clear-cut answer on how it should be taken care of. The people who doxed and falsely terminated Jello should receive some kind of ban or punishment, and while Jello didn't deserve getting doxed, it's a weird sort of irony that her channel ended the way it did. Circling back to YouTube, this kind of thing shouldn't happen ever. It's not entirely YouTube's fault this happened, but they need to put some kind of measure in place to make sure this can't happen, or at the very least, can't happen as easily. There needs to be some way punishments get handed out to people who deserve it and the victims reimbursed. Perhaps by having the video that was falsely struck getting a recommendation boost with, extra measures to be sure that people can't abuse this. Maybe there could be some kind of requirements to be eligible for that recommendation boost, like a video having stayed down for a certain amount of time, or a way to detect if strikes are being issued too quickly and revoked too fast. I don't feel like the situation can do well being automated. Unless you're getting a state-of-the-art AI, the current bots just don't really cut it. Hiring more people could be a fix, but it's easier said than done, especially in this climate. Perhaps training current employees in manning copyright/community guidelines reports, or having vetted volunteers help you out. If memory serves me correctly, YouTube did try this out in the past, and it didn't go over so well, which is understandable. From what I remember about it, anyone could go in and apply for the position, and while that brings in the most number of people, it also brings in a big risk of people only there to wreak havoc. That's why I'm specifically mentioning vetted volunteers, however that would, take a lot more time and resources. I'm just speculating here, folks, but I feel like the best option would to be keeping the report system as is, but instead of having a video outright removed off the platform, simply have it demonetized or taken off recommendation and search, and only have it available through the uploader's channel page until it's properly reviewed by a human. That way the video still has the opportunity to gain views if it was falsely reported, but it's still mostly out of the public eye if it actually does break TOS. I feel like it's a good compromise, and even though it's not completely foolproof, I think it's a better choice than what's going on now. My last proposal might sound familiar if you watched my last video where I talked about YouTube's flaws, although I have tried to elaborate it more on here. Check out that video if you're interested about what I have to say regarding this, however, I did toss a lot of ideas out here. And Although there are downsides and challenges with each one, that's just kind of how it is with everything. Very rarely is there a situation like this with one end-all be-all answer, and no matter how you slice it, there's going to be some way to game the system. But my goal here, by doing this, is to get an idea out there that works slightly better than what we have today. Baby steps, you know? There will always be people that won't be happy in situations like this, but you just have to look for the best of the worst in terms of solutions. I think I'll be concluding it here. Let's roll the outro. To end things, the situation with Jello was just one big clusterfuck that ended very poorly. Justice was not served as it should have been, and even though there is some hope for Jello to change for the better, we'll just have to wait and see. I couldn't resist covering this topic one last time. If it turns out Jello hasn't changed, you'll be seeing me back on the story, but for now, I just hope this is the last installment in the Jellobug saga. I will try my best to move on to broader horizons, see how that works out for me. With new information, I might be able to make a Suzy Lou video, who knows? Maybe I'll cover something new, maybe I might even make an animation. In the meantime, be sure to subscribe if you like the video. I have plenty more like this, and have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.